This is Ryan and Michelle, and welcome to the Celebrate MarriageCast 5-Minute Friday.
Welcome and happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everyone.
You guys, I don't know if you caught our show on April 1st, but did you notice a trick we played on you at the end?
Yeah.
Only an astute, longtime listener would notice.
Right.
We switched who did the outro.
Yeah.
It actually was a mic defect,
right.
But we had talked about doing that, and then we were forced to do that. So fun little surprise for you to find there. But we are actually talking about a fun assignment for you to do this weekend from our guest episode this past Tuesday. We interviewed the author of the book, The Acceptance, John R. Anderson. And one of the things that he talked about, we talk about dating a lot, but he said this: once people get married, they often believe they're now finished with the dating phase of their relationship. So they quit doing the things that got them into the limerence in the first place. Now, limerence, you'll have to go back, listen to the episode, but essentially it's that you've got that lovey feeling,
the loving feeling.
The song's different, but it's like that lovey feeling, So he suggested 3 tips for actively trying to date your spouse. 1, be attractive. We'll get into that. It's not just physical. 2, be vulnerable. And 3, be accepting. And he goes on to say, good marriages don't just happen by marrying the right person. And 2, don't ever stop dating each other. If you're going to have a good marriage, you're going to have to work at it. Some people have such a hard time with this concept. They want to believe that if it's real love, it will just come naturally and without effort. And Ryan, I don't know if you recall these examples from the book, but he had said, here's some examples. Liking vegetables. Did that come naturally to you?
No,
we're working with that on our son. It doesn't come naturally. It does not come naturally to most kids. Like sugar does. Pretty natural and easy to like sugar, right? Exercise doesn't come naturally. Liking to sit and be entertained by your phone, that's pretty easy. That does come more naturally.
Right.
Thinking about the well-being of others does not come naturally. While thinking about ourselves, we're born selfish. That comes very naturally.
Right.
So those who never grow out of that mindset that love just naturally happens will never have close, meaningful relationships that last. I'm reading this from page 52 of his book. Instead, they will move from mate to mate, leaving a wake of destruction that will fold itself back onto their own lives, not to mention the destruction of others. So he just encourages to do those 3 things. So this weekend, find time to date and work on being attractive. And that can be physically, but also just like emotionally and mentally, like showing up with, great cognitive thoughts to offer to, and just being attractive for your mate, giving your full effort, being vulnerable. We talk a lot about how intimacy is into me, you see. You need some vulnerability. And then 3rd is that you should be accepting. So in the book, he gives an example of a pool. Do you remember the pool example, Ryan?
Yeah.
Where it was like, when you start dating, you're in the shallow end and it's safe, and you're not going to talk about politics or finances on your first date. You're in the shallow end, but over time you go deeper. But John talks about it really is important to have dates where you don't necessarily dive into the deep end.
Right.
You need to just talk about kind of getting to know each other again. How was your day? But not talking about work, not talking about kids, not talking about those hot button items. Just like, hey, love, like, what was it like to be you today? Like, tell me about your day. Or, what do you think about, I don't know, whatever sports team, or talking about safer subjects that allow you to really be accepting of one another, because that grows your relationship.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Michelle, because I think a lot of people almost will grow to resent date night.
If they're talking about...
If you're talking... If that's the only time you ever talk about your problems...
Sure.
Man, right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the idea that John gives about, okay, hey, we're not going to try to solve these things, right? We're going to be in the shallow end tonight, where we can just kind of get to know each other, that's okay. Like your date night shouldn't be about solving your problems or talking about finances or talking about, kids or these major things. It's just, it's getting to know each other, spending time together one-on-one, talking about life, about dreams, about hopes, about those type of things.
You crushed that list from memory just about, Ryan. He says, don't try to solve anything between the two of you. Don't bring up any issues that you disagree on. Don't try to change your spouse's mind about anything, and don't confront your spouse about anything.
Yeah.
And I think about, if you visualize yourself in the deep end of the pool, you're treading water. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of breath. If you're in the shallow end, you're maybe tossing around a beach ball, or you're splashing, you're having fun. It's lighthearted. And those moments are still really important to kind of bond your relationship and create that acceptance where it's like, okay, we still like each other. We're still having fun together.
Yeah. The other thing I would add to that, Michelle, is to be present. Be where your feet are. Be present. Don't have a device. Don't have something that can take your time away. Just be, as we're talking about dates, be present.
That's good. I like that. Be where your feet are. And that is also true for the shallow end of the pool. You would be where your feet are.
Right.
Unless you're on one of those loungers, but you would still kind of be where your feet are.
Yeah.
You would be present in that moment.
Yeah. Right.
So awesome. So that is your assignment. We know we tell you to go on a lot of dates, but do it through this filter. Don't talk about the serious stuff. Just have fun with each other and really get to know each other a little bit more. Maybe you ask them like, hey, what is your favorite food? What is your dream? Like, what's one adrenaline thing you'd love to do? Would you ever go skydiving or bungee jumping, or would you ever go on a hike, on some, just, I don't know, think of some fun questions and just get to know each other a little bit more this weekend.
Yeah, I love it.
So that's your assignment. And do go back and listen to Tuesday's episode. We can link that here, and we hope that you have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.